Representative Chris Stewart's from Utah, and he wants to tell the American people, no, these tax cuts that are going to the rich and to corporations, they're really for you. Now, as I've told you numerous times, it turns out that 80% of the tax cuts are going to the top 1%. So how is it for me? Sounds like it's mainly for the top 1%. Well, Stephanie Ruhle is going to ask him about that on MSNBC. He is not going to have a good answer. This is going to be fun. Let's watch.
In terms of simplifying the tax code, what simplification, what loophole is being closed specifically for corporate America? I agree with you. Our tax rate is too high and it's too complicated. Let's lower it and close the loopholes. What loopholes for corporations are going to be closed?
Oh my gosh, there will be dozens, but
Like
I'm
what?
talking primarily.
Excuse me, sir, please tell me one.
There's with interest deductions, with expensing accounts, there's all sorts of deductions.
Just tell me one example of a loophole that's being closed.
I just did.
You didn't.
But primarily, we're focused on those loopholes for individuals and simplifying for individuals.
Oh, for individuals. So let's clarify a couple of things there. So he lists a couple of loopholes being closed, not for corporations, no, for you. So they're going to take away a lot of the things that you used to deduct from your taxes, state and local taxes, a number of other exemptions. So that is why a third of the middle class will instantly pay more in taxes, not less. By the year 2027, in other words, 10 years from now, everyone making under $75,000 is going to pay more, not less. So he is raising taxes on you guys. He is taking away whatever you used, I think legitimately so. But she asked about corporations. And by the way, I don't agree with Stephanie Ruhle. I don't think the corporate taxes are too high. It's just not true. And their effective tax rate is actually down to 22%. It is not among the highest in the world in that sense. So I think there's a lot of mischaracterization there, but she is doing a great job of asking, hey, even if that were true, and I don't know whether she actually believes that or not, but in other interviews she seemed to indicate that she does believe that, okay? That the corporate tax rate is too high, but we can lower it if we take away the loophole so it's revenue neutral. But we know it's not revenue neutral. This entire tax plan costs at least $1.5 trillion, and they put that onto the debt. So where are the loopholes that you're closing? So she's going to ask one more time. Let's find out.
Why wouldn't we close a loophole for corporates? The argument was you have to lower the tax rate and get rid of all these loopholes that they go through.
And you broaden the base so that everybody pays a lower rate.
What loopholes are being closed for corporates? Because if you don't close any loopholes, you're going to lower the base and keep the loopholes, so they'll end up paying even less. Please give me an example of one.
That's our point, is for corporations to pay less. That's the point. That's how you get economic growth. So we're not trying to achieve higher taxes on corporate growth or on corporate taxes.
You're not
We're
answering
trying to have them pay less.
No, he did answer the question. You got him. That was seen out of Few Good Men. You're goddamn right I ordered the code red. In case you missed what he said, let's repeat it for you. Go to video 3 here.
That's our point, is for corporations to pay less. That's the point.
Indeed, that is exactly the point. Those corporate interests, because of our private financing system of elections, pay in campaign contributions, in lobbying, and in independent expenditures. They pay basically politicians, they funnel that money to them, and oftentimes after the politicians stop being in Congress, they will then become lobbyists and get literal pay from these same corporations. And what are the corporations paying all those politicians for? Why do they spend billions of dollars lobbying? You think it's for their health? No, they're looking for a return on investment. And that investment on sleazy politicians is a pretty good investment. And here is Representative Chris Stewart saying, yeah. I mean, the whole point is to lower taxes for corporations, not for you guys. Oh, if you lower taxes for corporations, he forgot to add the last part. Not only do we create $1.5 trillion deficit problems down the road, but we also have another $4.5 trillion that we have to move on to other people. So that's why if you make less than $75,000 10 years from now, you're all gonna get your taxes increased. Why? Because the whole point was to lower corporate taxes. Why? You don't donate to these guys. The corporations donate in the tune of billions of dollars. They bought them all. So sometimes our conservative brothers and sisters will come out and say government is corrupt. I actually completely agree with them. I think it is systemically corrupt. I think that we've created the wrong incentives. We allow private financing, they work for private interests. Wolf-pack.com to get the money out, okay? We'll put a link down below. Do whatever you can to fix the system. If you're conservative, libertarian, liberal, it doesn't matter. But to the conservatives, let me ask you something. Not the politicians, they're all corrupt, they're all bought, and they work for their donors. But to the conservative voters, who do you think corrupted them? Yes, they're corrupt. Who corrupted them? Did you corrupt them? If you gave any politician $27, they don't care about your $27, right? I think there's one guy who cares, and that's why he collected a lot of $27. But no politician, even the best meaning one, even Bernie Sanders is not like, hey, Bob from Nebraska gave me $27. I'm gonna call Bob and ask him what he wants, and I'm gonna deliver for that. No, they do that for people who give them tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars. They work for them and everybody knows it. So if you wanna know who corrupted them, it is these corporations that are allowed to give now unlimited money through dark money, independent expenditures, etc. And that just flat out bought all of Congress. They bought our democracy, they bought our government. So if you're mad at the politicians, as you can tell, I'm right there with you, brother. But you should also be mad at the guys who bought them in the first place, corrupted them in the first place. And the answer is to get the money out of politics. It's to make sure that we don't do private financing, otherwise they will always work for their private donors. This system is insane. Unfortunately, we have made America arguably one of the most corrupt countries in the world. Why? Because we made bribery legal. At least in other countries, you have to come in surreptitiously with a bag full of money and you might get arrested and go to prison for it. Here, we just legalized the bribery. So Chris Stewart can come out and go, take away loopholes from corporations. No, the point is to give your money to corporations. We're gonna lower their taxes and it's gonna fall on you. Well, thank you very much for at least admitting it, Young Turks. What you just watched was one of the videos that we do today, but we actually do a whole 2-hour show every single day. It's a podcast, you could watch it in video or listen to it as audio. You can download it, you can stream it, and you get it completely ad-free if you could become a member of the Young Turks. tytnetwork.com/join.